What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. Tesla results are hot off the press. We're going to go through all of the numbers you need to know and the important information from the conference call. Let's get right into it. Tesla delivered 185,000 vehicles in the quarter. This was a record despite Q1 being seasonally weak and Model S and X sales falling off a cliff. They had extremely strong growth from China with the new Model Y, and that led them to record deliveries in the quarter. In terms of financials, we're looking at $10.4 billion in revenue. This was up 74% year over year. In terms of gross profit, Tesla hit $2.2 billion, up strongly 79% increase from $1.2 billion in Q1 of 2020. In terms of EBIT operating income, we saw $594 million, 110% increase from $283 million in Q1 of 2020. So on every single level on revenue, gross profit, and earnings, we saw massive growth for Tesla. In terms of operating margins improved 99 basis points year over year to hit 5.7%, slight increase from 5.4% last year. Net income attributable to common shareholders, GAAP net income, $438 million. This was a record all time for Tesla and a massive increase year over year where they barely eked out any profit in Q1 of last year. Adjusted EBITDA was $1.84 billion. This was basically tied with a record of last quarter of $1.85 billion. So Tesla for the third quarter in a row has posted EBIT of more than $1.8 billion. That's right. They're running at an EBITDA profit run rate of almost $7 billion, tracking the last three quarters. In terms of cash flow, we are looking at $1.6 billion in cash flow from operations. This is a huge positive swing from negative $440 million in Q1 of last year. And in terms of capital expenditures, we had $1.348 billion, huge increase, 196% from $455 million in Q1 of last year. This has been a sequential increase as well because Tesla's been building all these factories around the world, spending upfront on robots, on all these buildings for future growth next year. And that is why the CapEx is ramping. We have operating cash flow minus CapEx led us to free cash flow of $293 million during the quarter. This was actually about $1 billion or over $1 billion better than the loss of about $900 million in Q1 of last year. Tesla therefore ended the quarter with about $17.1 billion of cash on the balance sheet, more than double from the $8 billion in Q1 of last year. So almost on every single metric here, we saw Tesla absolutely crush it. And if you were on the conference call, you know there was a $200 million hit to COGS because of Model S and X being shut down. There was a huge chip shortage. Margins out of Shanghai are going to keep getting better as that Model Y ramps. These results were incredible, yet all of Tesla's business frankly experienced a bunch of different one-time factors this quarter, and we are looking at extremely strong sort of incrementally ramping and improving financial results in Q2 and Q3 of this year before potentially Q4 we see the launch of Berlin and Austin, and then that is going to cause a new wave of investments. But long story short here is Tesla posts an awesome, strongly growing, profitable quarter despite all of these headwinds. So I think the real results are even better than they seem at a glance. In terms of energy, Tesla posted $494 million of energy revenue, a huge increase from $293 million in Q1 of 2020, but also a huge decrease from $752 million in Q4. This is because of the lumpy battery business. More on that in a second though. Service and other revenue, this is something to highlight. Margins are improving significantly as Tesla sees more and more throughput through their service locations and other, they want to operate this at basically gross margin zero. They don't want to make money on service, but they want to break even on it. Moving back to that energy business, the huge reason for the drop off was energy storage deployments decrease, and these can be extremely lumpy. If you have a huge project with a bunch of megapacks, you're going to see a huge increase in storage deploy megawatt hours, therefore revenue. So Tesla had a huge contracts deployed in Q3 and Q4, not so much in Q1. So we saw the lumpiness of the energy storage business hit here. That hurt margins, that hurt revenue for energy. But then solar was actually a bright spot, sequentially rising for the third quarter in a row and hitting a record of 92 megawatts installed. That was the highest since Q3 2018. And there was actually a 9x increase year over year in solar roof installments. So that is a huge sign as well. They're still figuring that out. And there was also a huge announcement on the conference call of going forward, every Powerwall, which still is a huge backlog, will be bundled in with a solar purchase. So you can't even buy a Powerwall or solar separately. It's bundled into one product. It's going to be a game changer for Tesla as they allow this decentralized network of energy providers, customers to essentially become a distributed utility and get paid for all this energy capacity. Let's say the grid needs to go in peak power mode. They have all this energy demand from all these new EVs that are plugging in. Well, guess what? You can sell the grid back energy that you stored from your solar panels during the day on your Powerwall. That is a revenue generating opportunity. I think we're on the cusp of Tesla announcing some really interesting stuff around this home distributed utility product, especially when you layer in the fact of cryptocurrency mining could be used as an excess way to cash in on that energy that, let's say you can't sell it back to the grid because the grid doesn't need it now. Your battery's maxed out, the sun's shining, you want to keep charging your battery. What are you going to do with that excess energy? Let's tap into the global crypto markets and start monetizing it. I think this is the game changer that Tesla's next product is going to come out with. I don't know, little moonshot in there for you, but Tesla launches crypto mining as part of this Powerwall solar product. Other updates from the conference call: Berlin, Austin, the two new factories are planned to still pump out vehicles by the end of this year. Model Ys, that is on track. No official word on when the Cybertruck deliveries will start. Tesla Semi, similarly, also on track to begin deliveries or production at least by the end of 2021, although it sounds like it'll be in a very, very small volume. In terms of the 4680, that new battery cell from Tesla, that is still going through yield issues, or they're trying to get the yield up to make it good enough to be able to work in a car reliably. They're not quite there yet, but they almost are. Elon's still thinking they'll hit volume production of the 4680 in 12 to 18 months. Other news on the conference call: Tesla was asked about Project Dojo, the supercomputer they have back in Palo Alto, running all those neural nets, training the FSD beta. Tesla, in developing AI and full self-driving, has solved so many real-world AI use cases and is in fact becoming a leader in artificial intelligence and robotics. Elon Musk says the company in the long run will be known just as much for AI and robots as energy and cars. This is becoming a much bigger piece of the Tesla story, and this Dojo supercomputer is essentially the secret sauce that Tesla has to process all of this video frame data 10x cheaper than the current status quo. And now the question becomes, could Tesla start to rent out this excess supercomputing capacity for training other neural networks as neural networks become a bigger section of the global compute stack? The answer in Elon says yes. I don't think that's coming soon. I think it's gonna be a while before Tesla rents out space in their supercomputer, but that is another fascinating business angle, high margin software opportunity nobody was calculating that now should be included in people's spreadsheets a couple years from now. Another tidbit on the conference call: Elon thinks the Model Y can sell potentially the best selling car in the world in 2022. Additionally, on the Bitcoin purchase, Tesla's 1.5 billion of Bitcoin. They're holding most of that for the long term, although they did sell 10% to test the liquidity in financial markets. They were very pleased, are pumped about the possibility of Bitcoin, and could announce a crypto product in the future, but are not ready to. My guess is that crypto product means that you can mine crypto from your Powerwall solar product that Tesla sells you. And the Tesla also mentioned that if they get more Bitcoin from purchases of vehicles made in Bitcoin, they intend to hold that on their balance sheet. So it sounds like that 10% sale was just a test of the liquidity. Going forward, Tesla will continue to accumulate a bigger and bigger Bitcoin position for cash they don't need for day-to-day operations. There you have it, folks. Another Tesla quarter in the books. This was blocking and tackling. Amazing progress for Tesla, fighting all these global headwinds, still pumping out an amazingly profitable quarter. Simultaneously, as Tesla's current business is firing on all cylinders, we still see them making huge progress on the 4680, the next generation of battery technology, and this full self-driving, the next generation of drivers. Tesla is just getting started. I think this story is still in its infancy. It's almost, the profits are so normal. You're expecting so much greatness for Tesla. It's almost boring when they do it, but that is a great place to be as a business. Huge shout out to Elon and the whole Tesla team for just working their butts off to make an amazing product. I do believe the Model Y will be the best selling car in the world, no doubt, because I have it and it is an unbelievable product. So huge shout out to Tesla team. I cannot wait to see what happens with this sort of DIY Tesla mining rig and a move into Bitcoin or Doge or ETH or other cryptocurrencies. I think there is a big shoe to drop because I think energy consumption is becoming more and more intertwined with the financial system as crypto assets emerge, and Tesla is the leading energy asset company in the future with solar and batteries. But that's a hyperchange moonshot to end it for y'all. Huge thanks to all the Patreon supporters, producers, funding the channel, and all of you tuning into the live streams today. Such a fun Tesla earnings day. Happy Tesla earnings day or night. I hope you enjoy it. Have a good one. My name's Gally. I'll see you next time. Peace.